Okay, now so for today, now we are going to continue our discussion on electromagnetic waves, just like what I'm telling you. No, last time, remember that we have set already, no, the relationship class between energy, frequency, and wavelength. So let us have a few recall, no, of what we know so far. Sige nga, Janica, may I ask your help? Can you help me on this one to recall the information that I have given you last meeting? So dito, no, Janica, what I'm showing you on the screen is a two scenario. No, meron tayo kunyaring surface A at meron tayong surface B. Surface A and surface B, or simply let us say this is medium A and medium B, may nagpa-propagate na wave. Janica, can you hear me?
Opo, sir.
Okay. So, let us recall, ano ba yung wavelength, Janica? Ano yung wavelength? Can you recall?
Yung wavelength po is the distance of the between the waves po. Tapos,
Yung distance between the waves, or simply to make it more technical, it's the distance between the two crests of the waves. No? So, ito yung crest 1, crest 2. So, again, this is crest of wave 1, this is crest of wave 2. Yung distance in between the crests would be your wavelength. Thank you, Janica. What about frequency? Ano yung frequency na?
ang frequency naman po, sir, is yung dami ng crest po.
Dami ng crest or dami ng waves that is entering in an area for a specific period of time. So if I'm going to ask you sa A and B, sinong mas mahaba yung wavelength? Who has longer wavelength, Janica?
Yung B po.
Okay, correct. Pero sinong mas mataas yung frequency?
Yung A po.
Okay, yung A. Now, ganito kasi yun, Janica. Yung wavelength and frequency, just like we have talked about this meeting, meron siyang relationship with energy. Again, yung ating wavelength and frequency, it has relationship with energy. So kung tatanungin ka between A and B, sinong mas mataas ng energy density?
Yung A po.
Okay. Kasi mas maraming waves no, that is passing through that area. That is why, meaning, mas mataas yung energy density or yung energy na kinikerry nung area na yan because there are greater number of waves. Meaning, class, based on this information, we can say na yung energy natin, it's directly proportional to your frequency. Meaning, pag mataas ang frequency natin, no, pag mataas ang frequency natin, mataas yung energy, of course. So that's one of the relationship that we are able to build. Another relationship that we build is that, no, nakita natin, no, na pag mahaba yung wavelength, mababa yung energy. Pag maikli yung wavelength, mataas yung energy. So meaning, kung ang energy at frequency, they have direct relationship, your energy and wavelength, on the other hand, would have inverse relationship. Ibig sabihin, kung mataas ang wavelength, just like in area B, na malaki yung wavelength natin, the energy would be lower. Samantalang, in area A, where there is shorter wavelength, we can say that the energy would be higher. Which means, class, your energy, class, is having an inverse relationship with your wavelength. Laging opposite yung trend nila. And class, since energy is directly proportional to frequency, meaning just like in energy, yung frequency natin would also have an inverse proportionality with your wavelength. And class, if we are going to look at those relationship and we try to make an equation for energy, now we can say that your energy is directly proportional to your frequency, but inversely proportional to your wavelength. Pero the thing is, we cannot simply get the energy we cannot just simply get the energy by getting the proportion between frequency and wavelength. Kailangan natin i-multiply siya sa constant to get the amount of energy present in the wave. At tatawagin natin yung constant na yon as your Planck's constant. We are going to call that constant as your Planck's constant. Now, this is not actually the energy equation for electromagnetic waves that we are going to use kasi this is actually a form of equation that is masasabi natin raw pa siya, no? We cannot use this equation. There are a more simplified version of this equation, no, that would enable us to get the amount of energy for a given frequency or for a given wavelength of electromagnetic wave. Pero what we know so far is that this is the relationship that we have, no, between energy, frequency, and wavelength. And yun nga, last time I cut you off in this part kasi I also got confused when I verified my formula, no, I just got confused also nung sa may tinignan ako sa net na medyo confusing. So, sorry for that. And I cut off so that hindi kayo malito. That's actually the reason why I cut off early last week. So that hindi kayo malito. Ayoko naman kayong ma-confuse with the concept. So, I want to build the concept nicely. That's why I cut it off. So, I decided na tuloy ko siya itutuloy, no, yung discussion natin on this formula. And how do we get, no, the magnitude of frequency, wavelength, and energy for a given electromagnetic waves? Anyways, going back now, there are several important relationships that we should do. No? Again, to derive the formula for energy, may mga certain relationships tayong titignan. So far, no, I will not explain how are we able to get this one kasi you need to study quantum physics in order to understand bakit naging ito equation natin. Pero what we know is that yung energy natin, no, yung energy natin is equals to your Planck's constant times velocity. Actually, yung binding energy dito ko dyan. Binding energy is equals to Planck's constant times velocity. So that's one of the equation that we're going to look at. Another is that yung equation natin for velocity of the electromagnetic wave will be frequency times wavelength. Samantalang, equation natin for the speed of light is just velocity times wavelength. So let us try to derive the first equation. So unahin natin tong yan. Is someone raising her hands? May narinig ako? Or, sorry, I'm mistaken. No? Sorry for that. So let us take first the first equation. Remember, class, na ang relationship natin between energy, frequency, and wavelength is this one. No? They are directly proportional to frequency and inversely proportional to your wavelength. And to get the energy, we need to multiply it to some kind of constant called as the Planck constant. Also, another thing that we need to consider is that ang energy natin, they can be solved using this equation. We have Planck's constant times velocity. Now, so what we can do is that we can create an equation for velocity. No? Pwede tayong mag-create ng equation for velocity, class, and substitute it here. No? We are going to substitute it here just to get the final equation for energy. Remember that in our second equation, your velocity is frequency times your wavelength. So, meaning, class, we can say also that your energy, no, is equals to Planck's constant times frequency times wavelength. And remember, class, no, if you are going to look at the first equation, sige, tignan natin yung first equation natin. If we are going to look at the first equation, sorry, let's just write the equation for velocity so that you will not get confused now. So remember, class, that your velocity is equals to your frequency times wavelength. And ibig sabihin, class, we can substitute this equation for velocity in this equation of energy. Now, if you would observe here in the first equation, meron na siyang frequency. Sige nga, Carlo.
Yes, sir.
Anong i-multiply mo kay frequency so that it will become velocity? What are you going to multiply to become velocity? What are you going to multiply the frequency so that it will become velocity, Carlo? Carlo, hindi kita marinig. Ang ingay ng electric fan mo. Carlo? Angelo? Okay. You need to multiply it to wavelength. That's correct. So we have energy is equal to Planck's constant times frequency times wavelength. Ayan, no? Multiply natin siya sa wavelength. Remember that this frequency times wavelength is the equation for velocity, which is what we need for this second relationship. And do not forget that this Planck's constant time frequency should be divided with wavelength. Diba? Kailangan siya i-divide sa wavelength kasi that's the relationship that we get. So now, if you're going to make it that way, ang mangyayari, no? Ang mangyayari, class, yung inyong wavelength, it will get canceled out, no? It will get canceled out. Thus, the first equation, no? Ang unang equation natin for energy, we could use this equation as Planck's constant times frequency. So meaning, class, if we are given a frequency, we can actually solve, no? We can actually solve directly the amount of energy present in the electromagnetic waves. And that would be just your Planck's constant times the frequency of the wave. So that would be the first equation that we should consider. Now, another equation na pwede natin i-consider, class, is so technically, no, what we have so far is that we have energy is equal to Planck's constant. And energy is equal to Planck's constant, no, times frequency. Now, ang pwede natin gawin next is that we are going to substitute an equation for frequency. Pwede tayong mag-substitute ng equation for frequency. And if you are going to look at this one, no, pwede natin gamitin itong second equation. We can sorry, let's not do that. Instead, let us have HV. Okay, sorry for that. Let's have HV instead. So ngayon, no, we are able to get now the first equation. And the first equation, nga tulad ng sabi ko, we have energy is equal to Planck's constant times frequency. So that's the first important equation for electromagnetic energy that we can have. Now, we will derive another equation, no? Another equation for the electromagnetic waves. Pero kung kanina, if this equation is related to the frequency of the wave, ngayon naman gagawa tayo ng equation that is related to the wavelength of the wave. And in order to derive that, we would start with this relationship. So we have electromagnetic energy is equal to Planck's constant times velocity. Now, if you would recall, class, no, yung velocity natin, class, we can solve it using this equation. No? Pwede natin siyang i-solve using equation. We have frequency times wait lang, class, ha? Bago tayo mag-proceed. Sorry. Yeah. So we will start na to derive the second equation. And tulad nga ng sabi ko, sa pag-derive natin sa second equation, kung kanina we are solving the energy in terms of frequency, now what we wanted to do is to solve the energy in terms of wavelength. So we will start with this one. Energy is equal to Planck's constant times velocity. And remember, if you're going to look at this, sorry, that this is not the equation that we are trying to use, but we are going to use this equation. Remember, kung titignan nyo dito, if you're going to look at this, meron tayong relationship between the speed of light, the wavelength, and the velocity. Now we have the relationship between the speed of light, the wavelength, and velocity. And remember, if you're going to go back here, now what we want to do in this relationship is that we wanted to substitute an equation for velocity. Now, If you're going to use the third equation and to solve for velocity, what will you do? Sige nga, can you use your basic knowledge in mathematics? Ano pwede natin gawin to solve for velocity? Can someone? Using the third equation, what will we do to solve for velocity? Here. Here? Are you around?
Yes, sir.
Here may tanong ako, no? Let us say here, you wanted to solve for velocity kasi ang goal nga natin is to use this relationship to solve an equation for energy kung saan instead of using frequency, this equation should have what? Should use the relationship of energy and wavelengths. And in order to do that, gagamitin natin here yung third equation. Now, in order to do that for the third equation, we need to solve for the velocity in the third equation. So what would be the formula for velocity in the third equation? Anong formula natin for velocity in the third equation? Sige nga here.
Frequency times wavelength.
Third equation. Itong equation na to, here. How can you solve for velocity using this equation? Sige nga, what would you do?
Divide po ba, sir?
Oh, that's correct. Mangyayari, velocity is equals to what? Divide both sides by what? So that velocity would remain on one side of the equation. Anong gagawin mo? What would be your equation here? Now, let's ask help. Ano maging equation natin? Janica, what would be our equation?
Sir, ang magiging equation po is speed of light is equals to...
Sorry?
Ano po, sir?
Again, velocity is equals to what?
Speed of light is, ano po? Ay, wait lang po, sir. Wavelength divided by... Ay, hindi, baliktad po. Wait lang.
So it should be what? Janica? Should be? Okay.
Speed of light divided by wavelength. Ba?
Correct. It should be speed of light divided by wavelength. So that's correct. Again, it should be speed of light divided by wavelength. That would be our equation for velocity. Meaning, we could now replace this velocity with the equation for velocity in the third equation. So ano yung equation natin for velocity? Our equation for velocity is what? Janica, we will now replace or we will now substitute the equation for velocity in this variable. So what would be our equation for velocity? Janica, it is what?
Velocity is equals to speed of light divided by wavelength.
Okay.
Po.
So meaning magiging speed of light divided by wavelength. So this would be another equation that we are going to use. Pero dito, instead of having the frequency in the equation, you will have wavelength. So meaning now, with these equations, we can now solve for the frequency and for the wavelength of the electromagnetic waves once we are given with information about energy. Now let us try to solve, subukan natin mag-solve class ng problem that shows the relationship of your energy, wavelength, and frequency. Pero anyways, bago tayo ma-proceed, okay, if you're going to examine also this equation, makikita nyo na yung energy natin, it is just saying that it is proportional or directly proportional to frequency. And in terms naman of wavelength, the energy is inversely proportional to your wavelength. So meaning plus, our derivations are correct because it shows the physical relationship between energy, wavelength, and frequency. So now let's try to solve some practice problem now. For a while, let me copy the problem. Okay, so let's try to solve, no? Let's try to solve the problem, no? Based on the information given on the table. So let me ask, let us have, sige, Janica, you continue. Let us say, Janica, you're given a table, and in this table, binigay yung speed of light at yung wavelength ng electromagnetic wave niyo. And now, let us say you're asked to compute, no, for the frequency of the wave and the energy of the wave. And aside from that, we are also asked to identify anong klase ng electromagnetic wave. So let us try to solve the problem. So I think the first problem that we can solve is what? Sige nga, anong unang masosolve mo? Is it 1? Sorry for the numbering. No? Should be 1, 2, or 3. Let's make it 2. And let's make it 3. Sige nga, if I'm going to ask you, Janica, anong variable ang una mong masosolve? If you are, let us say, you are given wavelength here.
Velocity po, sir.
Velocity. Ang hinahanap lang natin, Janica, is frequency, energy, and the type of electromagnetic wave. So,
yung
information
frequency
about
po.
wavelength. Frequency. Can you solve directly for frequency? Is it possible? Solve directly?
Yes po, sir.
Bakit? How do you say na possible?
Kasi po, sir, yung frequency po is equals to energy. Ano po?
Anong pwede mong masolve directly dyan, Janica? Actually, it's what? In order to solve for frequency, no, if you're given a wavelength, kailangan mo ng velocity ng electromagnetic waves, Janica. The question is, are you given the speed of your electromagnetic waves? Binigyan ka ba?
Opo.
Ano yung speed?
Yung speed of light po.
Oy, this is not the speed of the electromagnetic wave. This is your speed of light, C. That's different, no? The speed of your electromagnetic waves is different from the speed of light. So meaning, can you solve directly for frequency? Pwede ba, Janica? Can you solve directly for frequency? Pwede mo ba ma-solve directly si frequency,
No po,
Janica? No. So meaning, if you cannot directly solve for frequency, the first thing that we can solve is the amount of energy. And if you are given wavelength information, how would you solve for energy, Janica? Paano mo isa-solve yung energy pag binigyan ka ng wavelength information? Paano mo siya isa-solve? What's the formula for energy if you are given a wavelength information?
I-divide po, sir.
Ano nga formula? Can you give me the full formula? For energy, if you are given...
Planck's
to what?
constant
Okay.
times
Velocity. Sorry,
times
velocity.
speed of light po,
Speed of light
divided
No.
by wavelength.
divided by the wavelength. Okay, so this would be the equation for energy once you're given a wavelength information. Ngayon, Janica, tatandaan niyo to class tatandaan niyo to. The value of your Planck's constant, no? Yung value ng Planck's constant natin, it's always 6.63 times 10 raised to negative 34 joules seconds. Again, the value of your Planck's constant is always 6.63 times 10 raised to negative 34 joule seconds. Yan yung laging ng value. So meaning, what will be the value of your Planck's constant, Janica?
Ang value po ng Planck's constant is 6.63 times 10 raised to negative 34.
Joules seconds. So that's always the value of your Planck's constant times anong speed of light mo? It is always what? Hindi yan nagbabago. What's the value of your speed of light?
3 times 10 raised to 8.
Okay, it's always 3 times 10 raised to 8 meters per second. So that would be the speed of light. Divided by yung wavelength. Now, anong wavelength natin?
0.83 meters po.
0.83 meters. So meaning, what would be the amount of energy in your wave? So actually, this would cancel seconds. And this would also cancel meter, giving a joules, which is the amount of energy. So what would be the amount of energy in this electromagnetic wave? Anong amount ng energy natin? Sige nga, kaya ni solve, Janica.
Sir, ang sagot po is 2.40 times 10 raised to negative 25.
Negative? Negative, Janica.
Negative 25 po.
Negative or positive?
Negative po lumabas, sir.
Okay. Do we get the same answer? What about the others? Pareho yung nakuha yung answers with Janica. You get 2.4 times 10 raised to negative 25 joules. Pareho kayong nakuha. Okay, good. So this would be the amount of energy. Ganyan, Janica. Ito so okay na tayo dito. We already get this one. Ngayon, Janica, since meron ka ng amount of energy, we can now solve for frequency. How are we going to solve for frequency? We can use the equation for energy that is related to frequency. Remember, no, na meron tayong equation in which energy would be equal to Planck's constant times what, Janica? Times?
Sa frequency po.
Times frequency. So if you're going to solve for frequency, we can substitute the value for energy in Planck's constant and do dimensional analysis to get the value of frequency. Sige nga, anong value ng energy na nakuha mo? Janica, what's the value of the energy that you're able to get? Anong value ng energy na nakuha mo? Sige nga, it's what? Janica, ano yung value ng energy na nakuha mo in the problem?
Wait po, sir. Nagka-compute po.
Bakit mo kino-compute? Di ba na-solve mo na siya? Anong value ng energy mo?
Wait. Sorry po. Ang value po ng energy is 2.40 times 10 raised to negative 25.
Okay, negative 25 joules is equals to. Ngayon, anong value ng Planck's constant?
6.63 times 10 raised to negative 34 joules per second.
Joules per second. At class, the thing is, hindi pa natin alam yung frequency. So we will just write down letter F that represents frequency. So that would be the variable that we are going to find. Ngayon, Janica, dahil hinahanap mo si F, ayan, hinahanap mo si frequency or hinahanap mo si F, anong gagawin mo so that this will remain on one side of the equation? Ma-isolate mo siya from the other coefficients. Anong gagawin mo? What are you going to do? You need to isolate frequency in one side of the equation. The reason why, kasi siya hinahanap mo. At dahil siya hinahanap mo, you need to isolate it in one side of the equation. So what will you do to isolate it?
Sir, yung energy po magiging divided by...
Okay, di-divide mo. Correct. Divided by what? Janica, that's actually correct. You will divide both sides by what?
By constant po, yung 6.64 po.
Okay, by the Planck's constant. That's very good, no? So you will divide both sides by the Planck's constant. So we have 6.64 times 10 raised to negative 34
actually, sir po,
joule seconds.
Po siya.
Ha?
Yung constant po.
63 pala. Sorry. It will be 63. Okay, so let's have 6.63 times 10 raised to negative 34 joule seconds. And that would give us 1 per second. We mean that's the unit for frequency. So cancel, cancel. So what would be the frequency of the electromagnetic waves, Janica? Anong magiging frequency ng electromagnetic waves natin? Sige nga.
Ang magiging frequency po, sir, is 361,990.
1990.
Ay, hindi po, sir.
Ha?
Wait po. 361,990,950.
950.2.
0.2.
Okay na? Okay, and 1 per second, diba? Ang unit is 1 per second. We will call it also as your hertz. And hertz class is the unit for your frequency. Ngayon, nasolve na natin tong unang problem. We are able to solve energy and we are able to solve frequency. Now, the last question is, anong klase ng electromagnetic waves to? In order to get what kind of electromagnetic wave is this, we need to get the wavelength and the frequency of the wave. So, as of now, alam natin yung wavelength natin is 0.83 meters and our frequency is 3, okay, it's 361,990,950.2 hertz. So, yan yung frequency natin. Now, in order to determine what kind of electromagnetic wave is it, ang gagawin natin, titignan natin yung tatawag natin na electromagnetic spectrum. So, let me paste a picture of an electromagnetic spectrum in the Jamboard for a while. I'm just getting a picture of the electromagnetic spectrum. So, ito should be your electromagnetic spectrum, Janica, Sige nga, if you're going to look at it, ito yung natin, ito yung wavelength natin, Yung wavelength natin is 0.83 meters, It's 0.83 meters. Remember, our wavelength is 0.83 meters. So meaning we can say that this can be estimated as 10. Hindi nga 10 kasi 0.83 So if it is estimated as 0.83, it is estimated at 1 meter. So ito yon yung wavelength natin. And remember that we have almost 300 million na frequency. Nasolve natin is almost 300 million frequency. So meaning, if we are going to move the decimal place, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Meron tayo almost 8 decimal place. So we have 10 raised to 8. So ito yun, we have 10 raised to 8. Yung frequency natin. So meaning, anong klase ng electromagnetic waves to? Sige nga, Janica, what kind of electromagnetic wave is this one?
Radio waves po.
Okay, so what we get here is an example of a radio wave. Okay, class. Naiintindihan ninyo. Do not worry. Medyo confusing to. Siguro ang gagawin ko, I will give you a table with the values of the frequency and wavelength of electromagnetic waves. Pero class, what I just want you to understand in this problem is that maraming klase ng electromagnetic waves. There are different kinds of electromagnetic waves and each kind of electromagnetic waves bawat klase ng electromagnetic waves, meron silang characteristic wavelength at meron silang characteristic frequency. And if you are going to plot, kung ipa-plot natin yung yung mga electromagnetic waves natin based on characteristic wavelength and characteristic frequency, we are going to get yung tinatawag nating electromagnetic spectrum. So dito, in this electromagnetic spectrum, pinapakita lang natin dito, as you go further away, class, from here, going here, yung wavelength natin is decreasing. So, Ulitin ko class ha, as you move from this point towards this point in the electromagnetic spectrum, you would observe that your wavelength is decreasing. Paikli na paikli yung wavelength natin as we move from the left side to the right side. Samantalang, if you're going to look naman dito for frequency, sige nga, Janica, kung pababa ng pababa yung wavelength, anong ine-expect mo sa frequency as you move from the left side to the right side? It should be what? Janica. What should be your frequency as you move from the left side to the right side? Kung ang wavelength mo, paikli na paikli, ano dapat ang frequency mo, Janica?
Palaki po.
Correct, pataas siya ng pataas. So dito, in your electromagnetic spectrum here, you can see that the trend dito is decreasing wavelength, pababa yung wavelength natin, or paikli na paikli wavelength, and as you move forward, no, from left to right, no, it's the opposite for the frequency. At from that, no, with this arrangement of decreasing wavelength and increasing frequency, we can plot out yung iba't ibang klase ng electromagnetic waves. And we will see, class, that ito yung arrangement nila. Yung pinakamahaba, pero pinakamababa yung frequency, or simply pinakamababa yung energy, that would be your radio waves, no? Followed by your microwaves, tawag natin microwaves, then your infrared na tinatawag, then yung light natin ay tatawag natin visible light. Then our ultraviolet UV, followed by your X-rays, no? Tawag natin X-rays, and last would be your gamma rays. So yan yung arrangement ng electromagnetic waves natin in our spectrum. So we would start with the longest but with the lowest frequency. So meaning sila may pinakamababang energy, and that would be your radio waves, followed by your microwaves, no? Then the infrared, and of course, we cannot exclude this one, yung tatawag natin visible light, no? This is the white light that we are able to see. Ito lang po yung electromagnetic waves na kayang makita ng human being, no? Natin. So it's called as a visible light. So it's after the infrared, and mas higher sa infrared, meaning mas mataas sa energy ng visible light. Ulitin ko ha, diba, yung visible light natin, mas mataas siya sa infrared. Pero, mas mataas sa visible light at mas mataas ang energy sa visible light kasi mas maikli wavelength nila would be the ultraviolet rays. And that is why kailangan nyo mag-sunblock. Kasi yung, yung sun ninyo, nag-e-emit siya ng infrared visible. Actually, marami. Marami siyang ine-emit. Pero ang nakakaabot lang sa Earth is infrared, visible light, and ultraviolet. And that is why kailangan nyo mag-sunblock daily, whether nagsiswimming kayo or hindi. Kasi class, pumapasok yung ultraviolet, no, through the atmosphere of the planet Earth. No? And these ultraviolet are high energy waves dahil nga maikli yung wavelength na compared to your visible light. And that is why there is a need, no, or there's a required class yung pag-wear ng sunblock. Even though hindi tayo nagsiswimming, we must put still sunblock in order to protect our skin from the UV rays. Kasi they are still considered semi-ionizing radiation. Anyways, going back, no, after ultraviolet, we have X-rays, then yung pinakamaikli at pinakamataas sa frequency, or simply pinakamataas ang energy sa kanilang lahat, would be your gamma rays. Ang tawag dyan is the electromagnetic spectrum. So meaning, we have a spectrum of different electromagnetic waves, no, with varying wavelength and with varying frequency. So meaning, class, there are many kinds of electromagnetic waves that exist, and each electromagnetic wave should have a characteristic wavelength and a characteristic frequency. So now let us look at the different electromagnetic waves, and I think ito yung mini peta ninyo that will be submitted after the exam. So I will give you, no, a quick review of our different electromagnetic waves. So yan, mag-start tayo, class, with yung tinatawag nating radio waves. Tulad nga ng sabi ko sa inyo, yung radio waves, no, among all electromagnetic waves, siya yung pinakamahaba, longest wavelength, pero pinakamababa yung frequency. And because of that, siya yung may lowest energy. And these radio waves are very important kasi obviously they are used for telecommunication, they are used for your television. So yan yung dahilan bakit tayo nakakatanggap ng TV signal. So it's all because the signals class are transmitted as radio wave to our antenna or to the receiver antenna that let us watch the different shows in our television as being transmitted by their broadcasting company. So yan rin ginagamit sa mga radio at napakarami. There are many applications of your radio waves. Ayan. So, ito yung iba-ibang klase ng radio waves. Meron tayong tatawag na very low frequency radio waves. Sila yung pinakamahaba na radio waves. No? Usually, they are greater than 1 kilometer and they are used for radio navigation. May tinatawag rin naman tayong low frequency radio waves. So, usually 1 to 10 kilometers sila. And they are used for, yun nga, aside from radio communication, ginagamit rin sila class to detect the weather system that is present in a certain location or in a certain geographical location. May mga tinatawag tayong radar techniques, If you're going to go to STEM strand in the future, you will discover pag tinake niyo subject na DRRR, na may mga radar techniques palang ginagamit yung mga geologists and meteorologists natin to determine the weather system that is present in some geospatial location. Okay, next class, we will have a medium frequency radio wave. So yan, it's usually 100 meter to 1 kilometer. So ginagamit siya, of course, for radio communication and for navigation. May tatawag tayo high frequency radio wave that is 10 to 100 meter. And of course, radio communication siya, ginagamit for AM channels, diba? Have you ever heard yung mga AM channels na radio channels natin? So ito yung ginagamit na high frequency. Meron din tayong very high frequency. Ito yung na-compute natin kanina actually. Usually it's 1 to 10 meter. And if that would be the case, ginagamit siya for radio communication, marine communication, air traffic control, and land mobile station. Yan yung mga uses niya. We have also the UHF, the ultra high frequency radio wave. Usually it's used for TV broadcasting. So ito yung mga wavelengths na ginagamit ng television natin. It's 0.1 to 1 millimeter. And of course, we have the super high frequency, 0.01 to 0.1 meters, yung kanyang wavelength. And ginagamit naman siya for radio and satellite communication. So later on, do not worry, we will focus on how does your radio waves work, paano siya nag-work, paano nagta-transfer yung signal from the transmitter to the receiver. So I will show you a video that would demonstrate the transmission of your radio signal from the transmitter, yung magpo-produce ng radio waves ninyo, plus or nagpo-produce ng signal galing sa broadcasting station papunta sa mga antenna ninyo na tinatawag natin na receiver. Now, let us go to microwaves. So, microwaves are also, kahit papaano, they are electromagnetic waves with long wavelength, relatively, the meaning ng long talaga, it's relative, relatively long, pero it is shorter than the radio waves. Mahaba siya, but shorter than the radio waves. Usually, nasa micron or micrometers yung wavelength niya. Also, another thing is, this microwaves is kahit paano, mas mataas yung energy niya o yung frequency niya sa inyong radio waves. Now, relevant tong microwaves kasi ginagamit natin siya as heater. Remember class na yung mga pagkain natin may moisture yon. So it has moisture content. Now the thing is, tong microwaves kasi pwede siyang i-absorb ng water. It is actually the electromagnetic waves that is absorbed by water. And by absorbing microwaves, nangyayari, it is able to heat up the material or the object that by absorbing the microwaves, we are able to heat up the material that contains that moisture. So in terms of pagkain, dahil nga may moisture yun, pag linagay niyo yun sa loob ng microwave oven nyo, yung water content ng pagkain niyo i-absorb niya yung microwave galing sa microwave oven. And by absorbing this microwave coming from microwave oven, you are able to heat your food. And that is how your microwaves work. So usually, it's 30 centimeters, and sometimes ang ranges is from 30 centimeters to micrometers. And yun nga, tulad ng sabi ko, it's shorter wavelength than radio waves, pero it's relatively long. And of course, that would give us higher frequency compared to your radio works. Now, another thing about about microwaves, siya yung ginagamit nyo for Wi-Fi, no? For your Wi-Fi connectivity and cellular communication. So, yung Wi-Fi natin and cellular communication natin, it is made possible by your microwave radiation. Okay, yan, yung radar din, no? Although hindi lahat na radar, may mga radar na gumagamit na radio waves, may mga radar din na gumagamit na microwaves. Another, yung MRI, no? And this MRI, tatawag natin magnetic resonance imaging. This is a very important medical innovation that would let us look through, no? Using microwaves, we are able to look through, no? What is inside the body. So, nangyayari kasi, sa MRI nyo, gumagamit siya ng microwaves at yung microwaves na to, ina-absorb siya, no? Ina-absorb siya nung body natin, class, and that enables class the machine, no, to scan what is inside your body. Okay, now let's go to what you call as infrared. So infrared are shorter than microwave. So of course, it has higher frequency and higher energy. And yung infrared nyo, makikita niyo sa remote control ninyo. Di ba sa remote control ninyo, if you have observed, may ilaw doon, pero hindi siya umiilaw pag pinipindot nyo. It's all because you cannot see infrared. That's the reason na hindi niyo siya nakikitang umiilaw. If you wanted to see na umiilaw yung ilaw sa remote nyo, ang technique doon, yung ilaw sa remote, itapat nyo sa camera ng cellphone nyo. Then, by just turning on the camera of your cellphone, ayan, for example, take camera ng cellphone ko, then itatapat ko yung ilaw ng remote, makikita nyo umiilaw siya. And that's one way, no, to check whether the remote is working or not. Pag hindi siya gumagana, meaning wala ng battery yung remote. So you need to change battery. So yun, that's one way of checking, no, the battery of your remote. Kasi nga, tulad ng sabi ko, yung mga remote ninyo, gumagamit siya ng infrared signals. No? Instead of visible light, it is actually using infrared signals. And infrared are electromagnetic waves. Although mas shorter siya sa microwaves, no? But still, we still cannot see this infrared radiation. Another thing about infrared radiation is that pwede siyang gamitin for thermal detection. So yung mga bahay na may thermal detector at yung mga camera na may night vision, gumagamit yun ng infrared. Kasi yung infrared, it is able to detect differences in temperature. May mga area na ang magiging color ng ang magiging color sa scanner na lang. Sa thermal scanner is red, meaning yun yung mga object na mainit kasi nagre-release sila ng infrared, no? At a high amount. May mga object din naman nalalabas sa thermal scanner niya na blue, meaning hindi siya masyado nag-e-emit na infrared radiation, hindi siya masyadong mainit. And usually, class, tatandaan nyo, lahat ng object nagre-release ng heat energy. The heat energy released by most object, class, is in the form of infrared radiation. So, class, try nyo minsan itapat yung kamay nyo sa laptop ninyo or other things na mainit. Tignan nyo, kahit hindi nyo idikit yung kamay ninyo, mararamdaman yung mainit yung object. It's all because yung object na yun, nagre-release yun ng infrared radiation that can travel through space and that can be absorbed by your body. That's why you are able to detect whether nag-heat up or hindi yung isang bagay. Kasi nag-emit siya ng infrared radiation. Now, may mga infrared satellites din tayo at napakarami yung uses, even yung CDs natin. Pero I think wala nang masyadong use yung CD. Okay, now let us go to visible light. So ito yung nakikita natin. No, this is the electromagnetic radiation that we are able to see. No, so alam naman natin colors ng visible light. No, so ang longest is red, meaning siya may pinakamababang frequency at mababa yung energy niya, followed by orange, yellow, green, blue, and ang pinakamaikli would be violet, at ang pinakamataas ang energy would be violet also. So that would be in terms of visible light. And tulad nga nasabi ko, this is the form of electromagnetic waves that we can detect. No? So yan yung na-detect natin ng human. Now, paano sir sa ibang animals? Sa ibang animals ba or ibang organism, visible light lang rin ba na-detect nila? The answer is no. It would depend on the organism. I would just give you an example. The example would be bees, no? Yung mga bubuyog natin o yung mga bees natin, mas malawak yung ano nila, mas malawak yung spectrum na nakikita nila. Kasi mga bees, aside from visible light, they can also see infrared, no? Yung mga far infrared natin. And that is why bees has wider vision compared to human. No, may mga organism nga na may mga organism nga class that can even see what's beyond visible light. And ano bang beyond the visible light? It is your ultraviolet waves. So tulad na sabi ko, this is another electromagnetic waves that we cannot see, but yung ibang animals pwede nila tong ma-visualize, tulad ng mga ahas, no? Yung mga ahas or actually see ultraviolet waves. So these ultraviolet waves are actually electromagnetic radiation that is shorter, medyo maikli na talaga to, shorter than your visible light. It is much shorter than your visible light. So meaning mas mataas frequency niya, mas mataas yung energy density niya. And plus, this ultraviolet plus, although hindi pa talaga siya consider na dangerous radiation, pero kahit paano kasi semi-ionizing kasi siya. So as much as possible, we must protect ourselves from ultraviolet rays, no? Kasi class, it can cause ionization and it can cause damage in your DNA. Kaya kayo class, magiging careful kayo sa presence ng ultraviolet radiation. And yun nga, since yung sun natin nag-i-emit ng UV rays, no, na pwedeng mag-penetrate sa planet Earth, no, the thing is you need to protect yourself using sunscreen. Kaya nga pag nasa-swimming kayo, class, nagsa-sunburn kayo. Actually, the reason why we experience sunburn, it's also all because of your UVA and UVB, no? Yung ultraviolet rays natin. No? May UVC rin, no? We have UVA or ultraviolet ray A, ultraviolet ray B, and ultraviolet ray C. So, amongst all, si C ang relatively safe, A and B would not be safe kasi if we have too much exposure with ultraviolet ray A and ultraviolet ray B, this can actually cause cancer, yung skin cancer or melanoma na tinatawag. Okay, so why is the ultraviolet ray useful? Mahalaga siya rin sa katawan natin. Kasi ultraviolet rays helps your skin to convert vitamin D, no? That is very important for your bone setting. Another is that sa mga hospital setting, no, sa mga medical places, no, ginagamit yung ultraviolet rays for disinfection, no? Meron tayong ultraviolet disinfection na tinatawag kung saan gumagamit tayong ultraviolet rays to disinfect the materials. And also, yung ATM machine uses either infrared or ultraviolet, so depende, no? Pero gumagamit rin sila. Yung sa fingerprints, gumagamit din yan ng ultraviolet. Actually, maraming uses yung ultraviolet. Yung mga scanners niyo sa airport, gumagamit din yan ng ultraviolet. So there are actually many uses for ultraviolet. Now, ayan. So if you're going to get beyond ultraviolet, you will see that yung mga radiation na yun is already ionizing. So meaning mga dangerous radiation na what's beyond ultraviolet, and it can actually cause damages in your body. That is why if you are going to encounter electromagnetic waves beyond ultraviolet rays, such as X-rays and gamma rays, you should be careful na kasi these are already called as ionizing radiation. This is already a very dangerous radiation kasi high frequency na sila. So sobrang ikli nila, it has very high frequency and very high energy density. And due to high energy density, it can actually cause damages in your atom. And kung magkaka-damage kasi tayo sa atom, magkakaroon yun ng problema sa atin. It will be already problematic for the living system to have problems in terms of their atoms. Kung nagkaroon tayo ng tinatawag free radical formation in our bodies due to the disruption of the electromagnetic waves. Although they are dangerous, marami naman silang marami naman silang practical application. And tulad nga ng sabi ko, example nun is X-ray and gamma ray. So alam niyo naman yung use ng X-rays, di ba? X-rays are usually used for imaging. Yun nga lang may certain amount lang tayo ng X-rays na pwedeng i-absorb sa iba, may certain amount na tayo ng X-rays na pwedeng i-absorb sa isang taon. So hindi tayo pwede mag-exceed ng level ng X-ray na pwedeng ma-receive. No, we have a certain threshold for X-ray that we can receive for 1 year. That is why nga yung mga dati, hindi pa nila alam yung danger sa X-rays, lalo na yung mga physicists and scientists during the early times when they did not know the effects of X-rays. No, marami sa cancer kasi nga they are actually using X-rays more than they should have. Another ionizing radiation would be your gamma ray. And gamma ray, ito yung pinakamataas ang energy density. Usually, ginagamit ito for radiotherapy, yung may mga cancer. Ginagamit siya for radiotherapy. So, ayan. So, sige nga. Let's try to fill up. Ano yung pinakamahabang wave? Sige nga. What's the electromagnetic waves with the longest wave? Can someone? What's the electromagnetic wave with the longest wave? Miguel. Ano yung electromagnetic wave na may longest wave?
Radio wave, sir.
Radio waves. Followed by
Microwave.
Okay, microwaves. Actually, si Miguel Villanueva tinatawag ko. Sige, Angelo, kindly continue na lang. After the radio wave, you have microwave. After microwave, meron tayong Carlo.
Infrared.
Infrared, then we have the
Visible light.
Okay, and remember, ang arrangement is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. After violet, we have
Ultraviolet.
Then we have
X-ray po. Tapos
at
gamma.
the pinaka-high energy would be gamma. That's how it goes. Sige nga, try natin. Tingnan natin kung makaka-identify kayo ng mga electromagnetic waves. Sige nga, I'm giving you 1 minute or sige, 2 minutes to survey the picture and later on, we'll try to identify what are the electromagnetic waves used in the different applications shown in the picture. Sige, I'm giving you 2 minutes to survey the picture. Okay, time is up Ito I want you to answer spontaneously. Kada tao na makakuha ng tamang sagot, I will give +5 ha. Unahin natin to. Ito, what about this one? Satellites. This is what wave? Anong wave yung ginagamit na application na to? It uses what? Satellites, grade 12, grade 9,
Radio
10
waves, sir.
rather. Correct, radio waves. Ito, what about this one? Television, radio broadcasting or television broadcasting. This is? Okay, Brenny.
Radio waves po.
Radio waves. Next, nuclear medicine. Sige nga, nuclear medicine.
Gamma, sir.
Okay, good, gamma. What about this one? Tanning.
X-ray, sir.
X-ray, stunning. Grabe
Ultraviolet.
naman. Ultraviolet. O, plus 50 na si Carlo. O, photography. What about photography? Uy, obvious yung photography, ah.
Visible light po ba?
Visible light, very good here. Okay, so I think that's different electromagnetic waves. Now, class, we're going to focus on how radio transmission works. Paano tayo nagtatransmit ng radio signal from your transmitter to your from your transmitter to your receiver. So tatandaan ninyo, yung radio waves, it is usually used for communication. Radio waves are used for communication. And aside from that, ito yung ginagamit plus ng radio broadcasting saka ng television broadcasting. But the question is, how does it work? So it works class in two ways. Sorry, it works by two ways, no? So it's a two-way process. Mali yung term na by two-way, no? It's a two-way process, no? The mechanism of how this transmission of radio signals work class is by a mechanism which include two process. So una, sa umpisa ng process, meron tayong emitter, no? Meron tayong emitter, no, na magta-transmit ng signal or tatawag nito emitter na to as the transmitter. So ayan, ito yung transmitter nung let us say television company or radio company, no? Etong transmitter na to mag-emit siya ng radio waves na tatanggapin ng receiver ninyo, yung antenna ninyo at home. So that would be a receiver. Now, let us now go to the details of that. Tingnan natin yung details on how the radio waves are being transmitted by the transmitter and received by the receiver. So in order for us to fully understand that, we will watch this video, then we will have a discussion on how does it work.
Radio. Radio is a popular electronic device that is used to listen to music, speeches, and weather bulletins. Radio communication involves a radio transmitter and a radio receiver. Sound waves are produced by vibrations. Music, speech, or weather bulletin consist of sound waves. The information transmitted is called intelligence. Sound waves are converted into electrical signals called audio frequency waves or AF waves. Microphones convert the vibrations into AF. There is a thin film called diaphragm in microphones. The diaphragm vibrates by sound waves which are transferred to a crystal. The crystal is generally made from quartz, that is, a crystalline form of silicon dioxide. Radio.
Sorry, let me repeat that. I haven't noticed naka 1.5 yung speed ko. Kasi pag nanonood ako ng video, 1.5 yung speed. Sorry about that. Let us
Radio
repeat
is a
again.
popular electronic device that is used to listen to music, speeches, and weather bulletins. Radio communication involves a radio transmitter and a radio receiver. Sound waves are produced by vibrations. Music, speech, or weather bulletin consist of sound waves. The information transmitted is called intelligence. Sound waves are converted into electrical signals called audio frequency waves or AF waves. Microphones convert the vibrations into AF. There is a thin film called diaphragm in microphones. The diaphragm vibrates by sound waves which are transferred to a crystal. The crystal is generally made from quartz, that is, a crystalline form of silicon dioxide. These crystals produce electrical signals when subjected to stress. The variations in AF are according to the variations in sound waves. AF signals are strengthened by electronic devices. This is known as amplification. The amplified AF signals cannot travel long distances. Electromagnetic waves of wavelength 1 meter to 1 kilometer act as transport vehicles for the AF signals. Electromagnetic waves carrying the AF signals are called carrier waves or radio frequency waves or RF waves. RF waves are produced using oscillator coils in the transmitter. H.R. Hertz has contributed in production of radio waves of required frequency. Each transmitter has its own vehicle, that is, its own RF waves. A radio station is recognized by this frequency. The process of superimposing AF signals on RF waves is called modulation. The modulated waves are further amplified and transmitted by transmitting towers or antenna. The RF wavelengths in the range of 10 meter to 100 meter get reflected by the ionosphere of the Earth. The major advantage of radio communication is that the transmitted modulated waves cover large distances. FM stations or TV stations use high-frequency waves, which pass through ionosphere and are not bounced. Relay stations or satellites are needed for long-distance communication of such stations. Frequency of the station can be calculated if the wavelength is given. Velocity is equal to wavelength multiplied by frequency. Frequency is equal to velocity divided by wavelength. Velocity is equal to 3 multiplied by 10 raised to 8 meters second raised to -1, which is 300 million meters per second.
How would you determine the velocity of the electromagnetic
Suppose
wave? Diba?
the wavelength
Once
of
you
a
have the
station is
wavelength
300
and
meters.
frequency.
Thus, frequency
So dyan pinapakita no yung process on how we are going to solve for the velocity of the electromagnetic waves. And in our case, since we are going to consider gaano kabilis yung radio waves na tatransmit from the transmitter to the receiver. So malalaman niyo yung bilis ng transmission natin from the transmitter to receiver by computing for the velocity of the radio waves. And we can do that by what? By using your frequency and your wavelength of electromagnetic waves. Sige, let's continue.
of the station is 300 million divided by 300. Hence, the frequency of the radio station is 10 raised to 6 Hz or 10 raised to 3 kHz. There are many receiving sets. The radio should be tuned to the station to listen. There is a built-in antenna. The antenna receives the modulated waves. Detector separates RF from AF signals. This process is called demodulation. The AF signals are amplified and fed to the speaker to reproduce the original sound. A speaker works in a reverse manner of the microphone. The coil starts vibrating when AF signals are passed through it. The vibrations are transferred to a diaphragm to produce sound waves.
Okay, let me go back to my presentation first. Okay, so far, bago tayo bumalik sa presentation ko, naintindihan how does radio signal being transmitted? Naintindihan po ba grade 10?
Opo, sir.
Okay, so good. For a while, babalik tayo sa ano. Balik tayo sa presentation ko. So sige nga, let us recall how does it work, no? Paano nag-work yung ano natin? Paano nag-work yung radio waves natin? Ayan. Sige nga, we would start with what? Okay, mag-start tayo of course sa transmitter, no? Okay, paano tayo nag-start sa transmitter? Anong ginagawa niyo muna sa audio? Sige nga. Can someone? Martha, anong ginagawa mo muna sa audio? What are you going to do with the audio? In the transmitter side. Martha, anong gagawin niyo sa audio in the transmitter side? Martha, what are you going to do with the audio in the transmitter side? Martha, are you there? Martha? Wala yata si Martha. Let's have Kier. Kier? Kier? Kister? Nawala yata si Kier. Attendance nga tayo, parang nawala na kayo. It seems like you are not around. Angela, kindly tell me if you are around. Angela, are you there? So I think wala na si Angela. Angelo.
Sir.
Okay, good. Brenny, take note ha. Bean George. Wala rin si Bean George. Brenny May.
Me.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay, Dwayne.
Sir, bakit po?
Okay, Erica.
Po.
Janica.
Hello po.
Kier.
Present po.
Andyan naman para si Kier. Miguel. In short, yung iba wala na. Sige, Kier, kindly turn on your mic. Kier?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Doon tayo sa transmitter side. Let us discuss the transmitter side first. Anong muna mong ginagawa in the transmitter side on the audio signal? Di ba meron kang, sorry, hindi pa pala audio signal. Meron kang audio. Anong ginagawa mo sa audio in the transmitter side? Diba, kunyari, you are a radio broadcasting company. So, ano munang gagawin mo sa audio? You need to what? You need to transform it to what, Kier? Anong gagawin mo sa audio? Sige, let us help Kier. Brenny. What will you do with the audio? What are you going to do with the audio, Brenny May? Sa transmitter side tayo. In the transmitter side, what are you going to do with the audio? Brenny?
Yes, sir.
What are you going to do with the audio? Noted. Sige lang, Janica. You can do. What are you going to do with the audio? Sige.
Sir.
May audio ka, kunyari, di ba? You're a radio broadcasting company. And of course, as a radio broadcasting company, you wanted to transmit your audio, from your transmitter to the receiver. And how are we going to do that? We would start, of course, as audio. We'll start as audio. Anong gagawin niya sa audio? Based on the video you have watched. Sige nga, Angelo, let's help them. Anong gagawin mo sa audio, Angelo?
So, convert ko to EM waves po.
How it will happen? Paano yun mangyayari? Kailangan maging ano ng audio?
Ma-record, sir?
Ma-record? Din ba yung sabi sa video? Anong sabi sa video? The audio needs to become what? The audio needs to become converted to audio frequency, di ba? It will be converted to an electrical signal which we will refer yung oscillation niya as your audio frequency. Now, question, Angela, yung audio frequency bang yun? Pwede mo agad i-transmit via transmitter? Pwede mo ba i-transmit yung audio frequency? Remember, audio frequency is just an electrical signal. So, can you just simply transmit this audio frequency to the receiver, Angelo? Pwede na ba? Hindi. Anong gagawin mo sa audio frequency? What are you going to do? So, ito, kunyari, nag-record yung radio broadcaster. So, yung audio niya magiging electrical signal in the form of audio frequency. Now, let us say may audio frequency ka na. Anong gagawin sa audio frequency? You are correct, Angelo. Hindi mo yun pwedeng i-transmit. That's correct. Now, since you cannot transmit it, what will you do in order for it to be transmitted? What will you do to the AF? Anong ginagawa natin sa AF? Ginagamitan natin ng ano? You did not listen, ha? Anong ginagawa natin sa AF? Ginagamitan natin ng modulator, di ba? We are going to use modulator so that we can what? We can mix the audio frequency with the radio frequency. So with the use of modulator, we are going to mix your audio frequency with radio frequency. And if that would be the case, pag modulated na siya, pwede na siyang i-transmit. But the problem is, you need to amplify first the signal with an amplifier, and after amplification, din mo na siya itatransmit via transmitter. Nakuha? So ganito yung process natin, We would start as audio. Itong audio na to will be converted to audio frequency or to electrical signals called audio frequency. Hindi pa yun pwedeng matransmit. It is needed first to be converted to electromagnetic waves. So mangyayari, nagkakaroon tayo ng modulation, using modulators. where the audio frequency is being combined with the radio frequency or the RF. At pag nagkaroon na tayo ng combination ng audio and radio frequency, we can amplify it and transmit it via the transmitter. So, in short, there is first the audio, of course, the conversion of audio to AF or audio frequency, no? And yung audio frequency ninyo, sometimes ina-amplify muna siya, no? There are times like that. Then after amplifying your audio frequency, imo-modulate natin siya with the radio frequency. Gagamit tayong modulator. So dito, we have the addition of your audio frequency plus radio frequency. And after modulation, we need again to amplify the signal and before being transmitted by the transmitter. So ganito ang nangyayari sa inyong transmitter side. So I already chat it. Ayan, you can use that as a reference. So first we have the audio, the transformation of the audio to audio frequency, no, then followed by amplification, then the modulation or the addition of radio frequency so that pwede na siyang i-transmit. Afterwards, we need to amplify the signal, and after amplifying, tinatransmit na natin siya with the transmitter. So that would be for the transmitter side. What about the receiver side? Paano naman sa receiver side? Of course, papasok yung ating signal sa receiver. Pero pagpasok sa receiver, it's a combination of what? It's a combination of your audio and radio frequency. So anong gagawin nyo? Kung combination siya ng audio and radio frequency, what will you do, Angelo? Anong gagawin mo? Andito na tayo sa receiver side. So, after the transmitter transmit the message, of course, tatanggapin yung signal ng receiver. So, anong gagawin ng receiver nyo? Remember, natanggap ng receiver, it's a combination of audio frequency and radio frequency. So, anong gagawin ng receiver pagkatanggap dun sa combination na yan?
Pag-iwalay po.
Pag-iwalayin. So, anong gagamitin? Kung nag-combine tayo, gumamit ka ng modulator, ngayon, anong gagamitin mo, Carlo?
Modulator rin po.
Anong gagamitin mo?
Modulator rin po.
Modulator din ba? We will use demodulator naman, di ba? You're going to use demodulator so that you can separate, di ba? Again, demodulator. So that you can separate audio frequency from radio frequency. Then after the modulator, gagamit ka ng ano? Gagamit ka ng, of course, amplifier, no? Mag-amplify ka ng audio frequency and after the amplifier, lalabas na yung audio doon sa inyong speaker. So that's how it works in the receiver side. So nakita how does it works in the transmitter sides and how does it work in the receiver side. Okay, grade 10. So